Hey everybody. Good afternoon. I know usually I do this at in the morning, but today we're doing it at noon. So I guess it's afternoon, right? It's lunchtime. It's so great to see you. Great to be here. It's great to see the sun, which I love. So today we're going to talk about the 5 most important systems you need to have in place so that your business can grow beyond viability and actually can get to scaling and allow you to be a CEO. If you're here with us live, please say hi. You know the drill. Say hi, join the conversation, ask some questions. If you're watching the replay, let me know. It's always nice to know that you're here. If you have questions, I will come back and answer them. And if you want the notes from this conversation, put the word notes below, and I'll be sure to send them to you as soon as they're done. So let's talk systems. Okay, systemizing your business sounds boring as fuck, honestly. And let's be honest, it's not the most exciting part of being in business. However, starting a business and running a business is really rough. And there's a really big difference between getting started and scaling your business to the level where you can step into the role of CEO and get your fingers out of all of the micro decisions and the daily operations of the business. You know, being the CEO is about having a large view, the higher level view, instead of just putting out the fires, doing all the work yourself, right? So it takes something, and I'm gonna posit that a lot of what it takes are systems. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. And yes, I will totally send you the notes, and hopefully you'll stay around for the conversation and ask some questions. Okay, so when you started your business, you spent years experimenting, right? Flinging spaghetti at the wall, figuring out what sticks, experimenting, what is the best way of bringing what you're selling to your clients, and how do you go through that whole phase? And for a while, even after you figured out specifically what you're selling, because oftentimes we have an idea, but it isn't until we're doing it for a while that we really get down to specifically what we are offering, and then to whom we're offering it, and then how to deliver on the promise that we're making when we sell what we're selling, right? So once we figure that out, even then, oftentimes we're continuing to do things haphazardly as they come up, like on a one at a time basis. Even if we have a kind of an idea around how the flow goes, nothing is really standardized. We're just doing each thing as it comes up. And to be perfectly honest, that eats a lot of time. It takes a lot more of your energy and your mind. And if you're constantly redoing things, you have to keep going back to your marketing and your sales process in order to make sure that you are being accurate about what you're promising and how you're delivering on it. Right? So with the right systems, it's possible to build a well-oiled machine to give you the freedom to live the life that you actually want, that you really love. Systems create efficiency. They allow for everyone to know how to do what they're doing and what to do when they're doing it. It makes training new team members easier. It makes knowing the process, what's going to happen at each stage of the game. It makes it easier to have conversations with your clients, with your potential clients. So systems, I think of systems really as the infrastructure that holds the business together and allows for growth and creativity. And, I always say to people, freedom can only exist inside structure. Otherwise, what you have is chaos. So that systems allow for the structure. Okay, so let's get to the point. Let's talk about the 5 most important systems as far as I see them. So the first one is about workflow. So what do I mean by workflow? When I think about a main workflow, what I'm talking about is the pathway of your client from first touch, from first introduction, from the first time that they make themselves known to you as a client, as a potential client, all the way through the sales process, then through the delivery process, all the way to when they become a past client, and then you're working, the workflow is all about retaining them as a client, or asking for referrals at the end, right? So consistently. So that is a main workflow. And inside that, there is three really main components. And the workflow, hey, Allison, the workflow encompasses all of the SOPs, or standard operating procedures. It is the foundation on top of which you then can build standardized operating procedures, checklists, processes, etc. So the main workflow, the way the client moves through your business, has three parts. So the first part is from intro to yes. That really is the sales part of your workflow. How does that work? What are the steps that you take every time? Then there's the from yes to execution or delivery. That's really the operations part of the workflow for your business. And it encompasses all of the ways that the project or the product that you are selling, all of the things that has to happen to it, who has to touch it, in what order they touch it, what does each person do there, how does it go through quality control, what are the conversations that go back and forth between your team and the client, your team and each other, right? The entire process, it becomes a methodology, one that you can count on, and as part of just the daily running of your business. It goes from A to B to C to D to E, and the project, or I'm just going to call it the project. The project moves in that specific way through the business every single time. So that's the operations workflow. And then the last part of the main workflow is how you take a client that you have satisfied, you've delivered on, and keep them around either as a multiple time client or as a referring partner. Okay. So that basic workflow, from all the way from the beginning, all the way to the end, is one of the most important systems to work out in your business. All the pieces. Okay. Okay, so the second system that's really important in your business is what I have called plan, do, review. Whenever you set out to put something into action, or you you innovate, you experiment with something, you put out a new course, maybe if that's the kind of work you do, or you're offering a new product. And I say product both in the sense of an actual widget, or in the sense of a design, or whatever it is that you're offering, what you sell, a new version of that. Okay. Or maybe you're putting on an event, or maybe you're doing something internally, right? You have a project internally. Maybe there's a hiring project, or maybe there's you're doing a company retreat, right? For every type of new thing you put into place, I recommend that you use this system called plan, do, and review. So how does it work? So you plan whatever it is you're going to do. Then you actually do it, right? So you plan it to the best of your ability, knowing what you know in the moment that you're doing it. Then you do it, and then you have to review it. And the reason why you review it is so that you can do it better the next time. And the review is really the system that we're talking about here. And there's 4 parts of a review. There's 4 questions that you want to ask when you review. What went really well? Great, that's good. Keep doing that. What didn't go so well, but the client didn't notice, or the people who were your client at the time didn't notice. So for instance, when I say that, I mean like in a real estate brokerage, right? The clients of the real estate brokerage are the real estate agents, but as well as the clients who are purchasing or selling their homes. So when you're reviewing and figuring out if what you how the project went and its impact on the clients may be the clients in the public, and the clients may actually be internal clients, right? So that's the second question. Third question, what are opportunities that came to your view while you were doing it that you didn't expect, that you didn't take into account before you started, but that you definitely want to take advantage of as you go forward? Okay, so that's the third question. Fourth question is, what was so messed up that everybody noticed? Like it was really a mess up. Okay, so you take those 4 questions, you answer them the way they are, then you go back, especially with the last 3, where something has to be done, right? If something was messed up, what are you going to do to fix it, and who's going to take the lead on that, on making that happen, and by when? For the opportunities, what are you going to do about that? Who's responsible for that? How are you going to put it into place, and by when? Okay, so that is a plan, do, and review process or system that will consistently make the way that you run your business more efficient. It'll be, you'll just be better. You'll be better at delivering your business. You'll be better at fulfilling the promises that you're selling. You'll be better at whatever it is that you are producing if you put this plan, do, review process into place. Okay, the third system that I think is really important is something that I call money dates. So having money dates as a business, either by yourself, with your financial team, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And what do you do with your money dates? Well, actually, you sit down and you look, yes, of course, at the P&L and the balance sheet, but you want to dig deeper into that. You want to always know, what's the cash flow happening in the business? Where are you expecting money? Where is money going out? How do you using your money as a resource to either build or to protect, or to invest in your business? And why do you do this every 2 weeks? Because money is fluid, right? The cash flow, the way the money goes in and out of your business, is a daily experience, and you want to always make sure that you have your fingers on the pulse of it, but you don't have to do the work of it. The idea is to have and be aware of how your finances reflect what's actually happening in your business, so that you can use the numbers and the story that the numbers tell you as a tool to make decisions for the future. So money dates are really, really, really important. Okay, the fourth system are staff meetings. People always laugh when I say this, but the point of staff meetings is not just to have meetings out of nowhere. Really, what I want to see when I'm working with clients, what I want to see as an outcome of staff meetings is a building of culture inside the business, where people feel like they're on the same page. People feel like they belong to something. They have knowledge, and they're aware of where the company is going and their place in it. They feel like their contribution is valued. They're they're encouraged to contribute ideas, and to have conversation and really to stay in the know. So there's nothing that takes the place of some really good staff meetings. And um, this isn't true of, not all businesses can do all of these kinds of meetings, but there's daily huddles where you get together for 15 minutes every morning and you go over, this is what this is what I'm focused on today, and these are the places, or the places where I feel like I might have some challenges, where I might get stuck, and could I have some input, so that everybody knows what's happening all together, and people can offer support, and then you can get to work. And in fact, I often think about the daily huddle as you should stand up, not sit down, so people know 15 minutes in, converse, out, get to work, and people are on the same page. That's like a daily huddle. Then there's a weekly staff meeting where people talk about how the week went, any challenges or sticky places that came up, what are the projects that we're working on looking into the future, were there any was there any feedback from clients, both positive and negative, that we should know. And then also an opportunity for the business owner, for you to present a way of your thinking, or maybe a future plan, or this is often a place where we will have do a values workshop, or they'll learn something specific to get better at what they're doing, or introducing a new software, but on a consistent basis. Okay, so daily huddle, weekly staff meetings, leadership meetings. So when you get to a certain point as a business, having a really well trusted group of leaders leading the parts of your business, like your finances, operations, sales, marketing, HR, so that there are people leading those parts of your business come together, and all of you own is not the right word because it conflicts with business owner, but you not own with money, but own in spirit where the business is going together, and you work together to lead the departments, to lead the team, to get people on the same page, to make sure that everything is communicating right? So there's leadership meetings, there's partnership meetings if you have a business partner, and then either once a quarter or once every 6 months, or even occasionally once a year, to do a day-long business retreat with so that everybody can be involved in that, and and get to know each other. For so many people, going to work is not only a place to make money, but a place to also make some friends, and to be around people that they care about, to, as I've said before, to really care about their impact. And so it's more than just the work. So when you do a retreat, not only are you learning more about the work that you do and how to be better, and how to grow, but you're getting to know each other better, so you can trust each other better. Collaboration becomes better. And so, yes, staff meetings, people always laugh at me, but they're I think of them as super, super important. And then the fifth system is software. Is having, technology, as much as sometimes we complain about technology, so much of what makes us able to do as much as we do, to produce what we can do, to make things easier for ourselves, is choosing software or technology that supports our efforts. And I'm just going to give you like a rundown of the kinds of technology that I often see my clients have, but then later on, next month or the month after, I'm going to really delve deep into all the different specific, I'll give you some specific technologies that I've had different clients use, or that I know about, that work in very specific ways. This is really just more of an overview so that you can, if you haven't thought about these particular kinds of technology that might help you, then you can start looking into them. So software, scheduling softwares. For those of you who are service providers, having a scheduling software that doesn't just allow people to book with you, but allows you to change the parameters on a daily or minute by minute basis of when people can use your time, how your time can be used. So anything that has to do with your time or the time of your team is a really good use of a software. So scheduling software, marketing softwares, we all know about marketing softwares that send emails, that do funnels, that communicate with your potential, current, and past clients. Then there's financial systems. There's QuickBooks, there's Bench, which there, right? Anything that helps you keep track of the finances. Believe it or not, I have some of my clients actually using YNAB, which is You Need a Budget, which is a very personal type of budgeting software, but also if you use it for your business, allows you to see all the time where every penny is being spent in real time, which for some people to manage their anxiety really, really helps. Okay. And then of course, Google Drive, calendars. So, there's Outlook, I use Google Calendar on my laptop, but in my phone, I use something called Business Calendar because it allows me to do a lot more, or at least it did allow me to do a lot more than Google used to allow me to do 3 or 4 years ago when I first started working with it. And using the calendar to color code so you can look with just a glance to see how your day is going to go, what you're working on, what the blocks are, if you time block, what the blocks are that are going to require your time on any particular day. So calendars, of course. Communication and teamwork software. So like communication like Slack. Some people use Slack. Other people use Messenger, or they use email, or they use Asana or Basecamp to have communication inside the team and to keep track of projects. So I don't really care or think it's important specifically which softwares you use. I know I have friends like Dusty Arab who will jump down my throat and say, no, this one's good and that one's not good. I don't really care. Here's what's really important. The technology that you use, the software that you use has to work for you and the way you do business. You have to be really clear about what it is you want from your software. What are the top 3 priorities that you want any software to be able to do for you in the arena that it impacts? And then go looking for that, because for any one kind of task, like let's say for CRMs, right? There, as far as I can tell, there are hundreds and hundreds of CRM softwares out there. How do you even know how to choose? Well, you have to start first with what your priorities are. What do you want it to be able to do? What are you trying to track in your CRM as a way to track your communication with your clients and potential clients? And so what about that is important to you? What pieces do you need? Do you need it to interface with your email? Do you need it to keep track of every single conversation that you have? What is it that you need it to do? And then you go out and look. So I hope this has been helpful. I know it was kind of short and sweet, but that's me, short, sweet. And here's the thing about systems. You can keep just going by the seat of your pants and just trying to do things as they come up. But the time and the mental energy that is used or wasted making things up as you go along, or not having something actually standardized and just kind of doing it haphazardly is what keeps you from being able to get yourself out of daily operations. It keeps you from actually being able to fully step into your role as CEO, because it keeps confusion happening. And when there's confusion and grayness and a lot of things that are not clear, you even when you have a team, it's hard for them to get their work done because they are not clear about what happens in what order. So yeah, systems are super important. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions or any specific things that any specific systems that you use that really, really work for you, I'd love for you to tell us about them in the chat. Otherwise, I will see you next week and we'll be talking about something else then. In the meantime, have a great week. Talk to you soon.